Hello. Welcome back to Finding Spirit with Tabs. I'm your host, Tabs McCaffrey, and I'm a developing psychic medium here in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, Canada. On this show, I share my own personal experience as I grow and develop my psychic medium abilities, also doing Akashic record readings, spirit guide connections, spiritual mentorship. Really, I feel like my spiritual business and practices have really been expanding this year, and just taking you along on the journey as I discover and grow and walk with spirit, and hopefully helping you find your way as well. So it's a little bit of a choose your woo adventure, and you get to choose the level of woo that you want to jump into. To be honest, I'm a pretty grounded, practical medium. I'm going to say that. My level of woo is quite low, I think. I do think my boundaries have expanded a little over the last year and a half, but still pretty low. And I do like to have science behind things. I do like to have evidence behind things. There are some things that I still cannot explain, and I've just grown to live with them. But if I can explain something or find some science behind it, I'm all for it. And I think I'm going to try and share more of that here. I think there's more people starting their spiritual awakenings right now that are looking for evidence, that want science behind it, that maybe are a little bit more practical and grounded. And that's okay. I think it's okay to question things. It's okay to have some skepticism. I do think that everyone should be open to new things, but it is okay to look at things and look for connections. And today's episode is a really good one. This has helped me piece some things together. So the last few episodes have kind of been taking you on a journey through a little bit of science, brain waves, things like that. Today is going to kind of solidify the brain waves and everything together. So I'm very excited to talk about the Schumann Resonance. Before we get started, though, I want to do a quick Finding Spirit HQ update. We have our next online mediumship practice circle coming up on March 6th. Make sure you grab your spot, as these are selling out. And I have bumped them to every 3 weeks, because I just think every 2 weeks is quite often, and once a month maybe is stretching it for people that are wanting to get that repetition, wanting to make those connections, wanting to practice and develop their abilities. So I'm hoping this is that happy medium. I'm fluid. I can change these as people want, but I feel like this is going to work good for now. Also, I have a group demonstration coming up on March 12th. So that's a group reading. I cap it at 12 people and provide as many spiritual connections in the hour. Last time, I think I did 5 or 6. So it's a pretty good chance that you're going to get a reading. If you don't get a personal reading, you still get to experience the magic of spirit. Hopefully have a tear or two and a laugh or two as well. They're just really beautiful evenings with connection, evidence, messages, and a whole lot of love. So I love sharing them. I try and do them every other month. March is our next one, so it's coming up quickly. Okay, let's jump into today's episode. I'm so excited to talk about this. This was brought into my radar a couple weeks ago. It was mentioned to me probably like a month or two ago, but really a couple weeks ago where I started tracking and paying attention to it. And we're going to be diving into the Schumann Resonance. Before we jump into all of the information about it, what is the Schumann's resonance? So it is the Earth's natural frequency and how it connects to our spiritual energy, intuition, and mediumship. That's what we're going to cover today, because it is fascinating. I have been completely obsessed with it. It has taken over my morning routine. I wake up, I need to check what was happening last night. What were my dreams? How have my days been looking? And I'm seeing a lot of correlation between the spikes in energy and my own spiritual life and reflections in it. So we're going to kind of jump into that a little bit more. 2 weeks ago, I could feel like the energy was just really crazy. Life was crazy. Sessions were wild. I was wondering what the heck is going on. And I talked about this a few weeks ago as well, where I felt like I kind of peeled another layer off on my, spiritual development as my spiritual being. And I felt like I had leveled up, and I was like, I know it's true. I know that's what happened, but there's a little bit of layering to this. So at the same time, the Schumann resonance, which is the Earth's natural frequency, was also spiking. And I had a friend tell me this, and I was like, what? what, I have to look into this. Like, I have to read more into this. And my mind was completely blown. I knew that we're going to need to talk about it here. And I feel like this could be utilized by a lot of people during their spiritual development, connecting some of the dots, just making sense of what's happening and also what is happening with the Earth's frequency at that time. And you're going to see a lot of correlation, I promise. I want you to ponder throughout this episode, do you ever experience unexplained energetic days where things are just happening, your experiences are amplified, there's a lot of synchronicities, maybe your dreams are really wild. It just feels like emotions and everything is just very high and amplified. This, I want you to start connecting to the Schumann Resonance, because I think you're going to see these connections as we go through. So what is Schumann Resonance? The Schumann Resonance is the Earth's electromagnetic frequency. It's averaging around 7.83 hertz, which is the theta brain frequency. This is also the Earth's heartbeat. And you guys know what happens in theta. That's where mediumship happens. That's where daydreaming, that's where light sleep happens. That is the spiritual brainwave. That's what I like to call it. It's the spiritual brainwave. Now, how is the Schumann resonance created? Like, what causes this earth frequency? And what they have found is that lightning strikes generate electromagnetic waves that bounce between the earth's surface and the ionosphere. This affects all living beings. Like, just how tuning forks can resonate with each other, our bodies and brains are influenced by the earth's frequency. So if you didn't catch last week's episode, we did discuss brainwaves and mediumship. Make sure you listen to it. I'm going to pop it up here if you're on YouTube. The human brain naturally operates in beta and alpha, but the Schumann resonance occurs in theta. We're operating in a higher frequency than the Earth's frequency. The theta brainwave state is associated with deep meditation, intuition, and spiritual connection, the same state where mediumship happens, as I stated before. Here's a fun fact I found. Astronauts experience disorientation, fatigue, and a decline in well-being when removed from the Earth's Schumann resonance, which is the 7.83 hertz. Because this frequency is believed to be the natural regulator for human brainwaves, circadian rhythms, and overall biological balance, to counteract these effects, NASA installed Schumann frequency generators in spacecrafts. Like, I can't even make this up. These devices emit a 7.83 hertz electromagnetic pulse, recreating the Earth's natural frequency and helping astronauts maintain physical and mental well-being while in space. This discovery supports the idea that the Schumann resonance isn't just a planetary phenomenon, it directly impacts human health, brain function, and possibly even spiritual awareness. So if astronauts are affected when they're out in space and they don't have the Earth's frequency, imagine how we feel when the frequency spikes, right? When it goes higher, when it's out of the normal circadian rhythm. This is where we're going to start to connect some more stuff. I hope your mind is blown. Like, I hope you're like, wow, okay, this is starting to make some sense. I'm interested. Let's hear more. How does the Schumann resonance affect spiritual energy and mediumship? Number one, higher sensitivity to energy shifts. Many intuitives and mediums feel fluctuations in the resonance, leading to heightened intuition or physical sensations. I personally have recently pieced this together in my own journey, and I will now be tracking. I recommend you track it as well. I'm going to share the app that I'm using later on and some of the free resources that you can use too. But I see this. My higher sensitivity, my ascension that I recently went through was happening at the same time we were experiencing a lot of spikes in the Schumann resonance. I think that there is a relation to this. I'm hoping that you will be able to piece some things that maybe in the last month have been happening and you're like, okay, this is making sense. I see some correlation in my own life happening. Number two, spiritual downloads and psychic clarity. When the resonance spikes, some experience stronger intuitive messages or synchronicities. And I was like, yes, oh my gosh, as I was reading this, I was losing my mind. This is exactly what was happening to me a few weeks ago. My readings were crazy. My mediumship was wild. Like, I was having multiple spirits coming through, and it was like evidence, like clear, specific evidence clear, specific messages. And I was doing like 2 or 3 spirits in a reading. It was wild. I had never had it coming through so quickly and so clearly. And I think that that is in relation to the spikes in the energy. Again, I want you to think about recent events in January that you were experiencing these types of things. And then the third one is energetic grounding and connection. Aligning with the Earth's frequency helps mediums and spiritual people stay balanced and receive clear spirit communication. This is why I'm always talking about grounding and meditation. I mean it. There's like science behind it. This helps in your spiritual development. And I'm so excited every time I get on a call and someone's like, I followed your advice, I started meditating, I'm working at it, but I already feel a difference, because I do 100% believe that it can have a positive impact on you, your well-being, and your spiritual development. So yeah, these are a few ways that it can affect us. Now, I have a couple of fun facts about this. It is believed that rising frequencies signal a global spiritual awakening. So, you know, when everyone's talking about the new earth, it's a new frequency. Literally, it's a new frequency that the earth is going to be vibrating in. Traditionally, the Schumann Resonance has been stable at 7.83 hertz. But in recent years, scientists and researchers have observed unusual spikes and fluctuations, with some recordings reaching 30 hertz or higher. That's crazy. That's really high. Just last weekend, we were seeing some really crazy spikes, and it wasn't even like it was going away. It stayed pretty steady. This has also led to speculation that rising frequencies could be connected to global energetic shift or spiritual awakening. I think that there is a direct correlation to the amount of people that are going through spiritual awakenings right now. The amount of people that are experiencing spirit in their life, that are becoming sensitive to the energy. I think I 100% personally believe that this is connected. It's insane. Like the amount of people that reach out to me every day on Instagram about spiritual awakenings. I've never seen this amount in the last few months. I think this affects a lot of people all around the world. This is not just specific to North America. I'm meeting and talking with people all around the world. And I think this might be a catalyst, like I said, for the spiritual awakening. And it's almost like, what I was thinking is, it's like an ancient part of our brain. It's like an ancient part in us is being activated through us. That's really what I think is happening. I just see this like ancient connection to energy. I don't think what we're going through is something that's never happened. I truly believe that people that were alive thousands of years ago had these abilities. They had these abilities to connect. They felt spiritually connected. And somewhere in the last few centuries, we have disconnected. We went through like an industrial era, right? And I feel like a lot of people are feeling that disconnect and are wanting more right now. So what's changing? More frequent spikes. There have been significant and sudden changes in frequency, sometimes lasting hours or even days. And this weekend, we saw it lasting for like over 12 hours at a time. It was a pretty energetically intense weekend for myself. I feel like even just world news and events, there was a lot happening. I think it's being felt by everyone. We've been experiencing higher amplitudes, so the intensity of the Schumann resonance has also increased, meaning that the Earth's electromagnetic energy is fluctuating more than usual. And this is the amplification of these spikes. So it's not just them spiking in pitches, it's spiking in volume. Another one is shifts in human consciousness. Some spiritual communities believe that as the Earth's frequency increases, human consciousness is also evolving, and this is going to lead to heightened intuition and sensitivity, increased spiritual awakenings and energetic shifts, and a stronger desire for connection, healing, and self-awareness. And I think we're already experiencing these already. So if I had to look at what's happening in the Schumann resonance and I had to look at what's happening in the collective, I see data that connects these. I think this makes a lot of sense. I think it explains a lot of things. And this may have been even the science that I was looking for to connect the amount of people going through spiritual awakenings right now. It's just been wild. I'm always on the pursuit for understanding and piecing things together in my own new reality and trying to make sense of everything. Okay, so I have a few more fun facts. Many ancient civilizations built sacred sites in alignment with the Earth's natural energy fields, including the Schumann Resonance and other geomagnetic hotspots. These sites are often located where the Earth's electromagnetic energy is particularly strong, which could have enhanced spiritual experiences, intuition, and even physical well-being. A few examples of this are ley lines and energy vortexes. Many ancient temples, pyramids, and stone circles are built on what some call ley lines, and these are invisible energy pathways believed to carry electromagnetic currents. Sites like the Great Pyramid of Giza, Stonehenge, Machu Picchu, and Angkor Wat. I don't know, I may not be saying that right. I'm sorry, guys. These sites are thought to be on high energy points, amplifying the Earth's natural resonance. Another example is resonant architecture and sound frequencies. So the sound of pyramids, stone chambers, and temples suggests they may have been tuned to specific sound frequencies, possibly even matching the Schumann resonance or other harmonic vibrations. So for example, the King's Chamber in the Great Pyramid resonates around 7 to 8 hertz. This is the same frequency as the Earth's heartbeat. Ancient caves and temples with acoustic properties may have enhanced trance states and spiritual connection through sound. And I truly believe this. I think there is a lot deeper connection in our past. And then the last one is geomagnetic activity and spiritual experiences. Studies show that places with high geomagnetic activity can influence brain waves, leading to heightened intuition, altered states of consciousness, and even mystical experiences. Some believe ancient shamans and priests intuitively sense these locations and use them for rituals, initiations, and divine communication. And I always think of Sedona, Arizona when I hear this. This is just something that would be close and more local to where I live. This is a lot of the experiences that people have when they go there. It's on my bucket list of places to go. Modern studies suggest that spending time in high energy locations can help regulate brainwaves, boost intuition, and deepen one's connection to spiritual realms. I just love that. I just love this. I love all this. This all makes sense to me. This helps me piece it all together. I hope it's helping you as well. The next thing I wanted to talk about is how can we align with the Schumann resonance for spiritual growth? What can you do in your own journey? Number one, grounding practices. Walk barefoot, spend time in nature, or meditate outdoors. I personally like to use a grounding sheet or grounding pads. These are great for the cold months when I can't get my feet on the ground. I live in a part of our country where it can be minus 42 degrees Celsius. There is no way that I'm going outside with bare skin, but my grounding sheets really help to make sure that I'm getting that grounding every single day. Jeff and I have become very reliant on them. I love them. The next is breath work and sound therapy. Listening to 7.83 hertz binaural beats or theta binaural beats can help entrain your brain to this natural rhythm. I recently found a really good theta meditation on YouTube. I'm going to put it down in the show notes. It's been working like a direct link to my spirit communication. As soon as I put it on, it's like minute 3 or 4, all of a sudden I'm in this wah, wah, and my brain is just like shoop. And it's like a direct link. I've been using it for my spirit guide communication as well, and just connecting with my higher self, going in for direction, going in for understanding and guidance. It's just, yeah, I'm so excited to share it, and you can see that link down below. I encourage you to try it and see if it works for you. Also, what I would say is you can start focusing on your breath and doing breath work. There's also tons of YouTube videos if you wanted to explore that. I go to YouTube for everything. There is someone who has made a video about everything on YouTube. It's like the greatest source of information, and you can choose what feels right to you or which instructor resonates with you, whose voice, whose music, right? You don't have to listen to something if it doesn't feel right, but there's enough variety that you should be able to find someone that you feel that connection with. Another way is mindful awareness. Keep track of how you're feeling during frequency spikes and adjust your spiritual practice accordingly. I am now tracking the days where the energy is feeling crazy, where it is spiking and intense. Looking at the correlations also, when I know it's spiking, making sure that I am grounding, making sure that I'm meditating, making sure that I'm also bringing my energy back down, because you can't live in that heightened state all the time. It can be wearing. It's really neat when you have spiritual experiences and everything's heightened, but you do also have to make sure that you're grounding yourself and bringing yourself down to that normal frequency. And then the last way, which is super easy and everyone can do, hydration and energy cleansing. Water helps regulate electromagnetic energy in the body. We know water is an excellent conductor. Make sure you are drinking lots of water. I recently actually cut out pop. I cut out pop a couple months ago, and yeah, I've been a Diet Pepsi drinker for I don't even know, 20 years, and recently cut it out. And I'm also working at substituting my morning coffee as well. So trying to increase my water, knowing that I just feel better when that's what I'm drinking. And then for energy cleansing, I like to take baths. I also do energy releasing meditations. These combined or separately seem to work really well, and I recommend them to everyone. All right, so that kind of closes it up. There's not a lot of details that I could go further into it. There is a video I'm going to put into the show notes as well that explains it way more sciencey, more than I was willing to go into on this video, but I just wanted to introduce it to you. I just wanted to put it on your radar. I wanted to get you thinking, maybe looking into it, and you can choose what level of science you want to go into. The video I'm going to post starts at the beginning, which is less science, and goes right deep into cellular level. So really good listen, but it goes pretty deep, not gonna lie. So what I want you to think of is that it's not just a scientific phenomenon, the Schumann resonance. It plays a role in our intuition, our energy shifts, and our spiritual connections. I want to encourage you to observe how you feel during these energy shifts and experiment with different grounding techniques as well. There's lots of free places that you can check out the Schumann Resonance and see what it's doing every day, pretty much hour for hour. I did purchase the Earth Beat app, and yeah, it's just Earth Beat. And I think I paid like $2.99, and it's a one-time fee. That was in Canadian dollars, so it might be less if you're paying in USD. I'm really happy with it. It has way more data and information than I know how to use right now, but it shows that Schumann Resonance, the recording site is actually in Russia. I think there's maybe a couple recording sites, but Russia seems to be one of the most common sites that everyone uses. So then you just have to do the time difference when you look at the graph. Oh yeah, the other one I wanted to recommend, there's a gentleman named Stefan Burns, and he puts out daily content that does like the science-based and the he's like a geoscientist, I think. It's really neat. It's really neat. It can be a little bit sciencey, but if you're into that, he's putting out daily videos connecting what's happening in the Schumann resonance and then what is happening here on Earth or around the Earth. And he looks at data all around in every area. So it's really cool to see that those connections, and then also understanding what's happening in your own personal life, in your own spiritual growth. Yeah, I hope this helps you. I hope you're as excited about it as I am. I am going to shift a little bit away from the science content over the next few episodes. As new things come up, I am going to share them with you guys, because I think it's just a really fun way for us to kind of piece our reality together with maybe scientific beliefs, right? Little bit of backing, little bit of evidence with it, and it can also help solidify some of the things that are happening in your life too. So I hope this helps you. If you haven't already liked or subscribed to my channel, please make sure you do so. It really helps me grow. Also, like the video, comment, share your experiences. I want to know, have you been feeling this? Have you been feeling this in January? Did you feel the shifts over the weekend? Let me know. Drop it down below. And yeah, I look forward to hearing from you guys. All right. Well, I will see you next week, or maybe one more week. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get one out next week because we're going to be gone on holidays, but I will see you soon in the next episode in Finding Spirit. All right. Bye.